Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today let's demonstrate the anatomy of the peritoneum. So the peritoneum is the serous membrane which covers the abdominopelvic cavity. This is the blue color is the peritoneum. As you can see here, there are certain structures which has been just covered by this serous membrane. So since it is a serous membrane, the peritoneum has two parts, the parietal and the visceral peritoneum. The parietal peritoneum, which covers the wall, the abdominopelvic wall, and the visceral peritoneum covers the abdominal viscerous or the abdominal organs. And between this, the parietal and the visceral peritoneum, there is the peritoneal cavity. So, what are the intraperitoneal and extraperitoneal structures? So, there are certain organs which has been just covered entirely by the visceral peritoneum. Such organs are called intraperitoneal organs. Like for example, if you can see here, the stomach, yeah, this is the stomach, this is the liver. As you can see posteriorly, there is a gallbladder, yeah, and the transverse colon. These are just intraperitoneal structures. So what intraperitoneal structure? Spleen is also just intraperitoneal structure, as you can see. So what is intraperitoneal structures? Those organs which are entirely covered by the visceral peritoneum are intraperitoneal organs. So from this model, which structures just can you visualize which are intraperitoneal? Okay. To see the intraperitoneal structures, it is better just to see from the anterior aspect. So this one is the greater curvature, which is the double fold of the peritoneum. We will talk in later. Okay. So posterior to this, there are the small intestine, which are the jejunum and ileum. So these are also the intraperitoneal structures. So you can see here, this is the ileum and this is the jejunum. So both the ileum and jejunum are intraperitoneal structures. The stomach, the liver, most of part of the liver is as well as covered by the visceral peritoneum. Okay, the spleen, these are intraperitoneal structures. And what is extraperitoneal structures? Extraperitoneal structures are those structures which are just found, which are not covered by the visceral peritoneum, and instead they are covered by the parietal peritoneum partially, okay, from some aspects. For example, if you can see from the posterior aspect, if you see this is the kidney is not covered by the peritoneum, okay. The pancreas, except the tail of the pancreas. The tail of the pancreas is just intraperitoneal. It is covered by the visceral by the visceral peritoneum, and the other part, the head, the body, is extraperitoneal. And this is, for example, the ascending colon, and this is a descending colon. So we are just visualizing from the posterior aspect, okay. And these are ureter, yeah. So these structures, including not only, there is also the suprarenal gland here above the kidney. So these structures are extraperitoneal structures. The extraperitoneal organs are just maybe retroperitoneal or subperitoneal. Okay, just retroperitoneal means behind the peritoneum. So most of structures, especially abdominal viscera, are just retroperitoneal, meaning they are found the posterior to the peritoneum. Okay, the subperitoneal means the below the peritoneum, like the pelvic structures, including the uterus, the urinary bladder, they are the subperitoneal structures, meaning they are found inferior to the peritoneum. Okay, so this is the retroperitoneal structures. So the retroperitoneal structures may be the primary retroperitoneal and secondary retroperitoneal. So what is primary retroperitoneal? The retroperitoneal organs just develop behind the peritoneum from the beginning. Okay, from the beginning. Embryologically, they are also just develop as extraperitoneal or retroperitoneal. For example, this is the suprarenal gland, this is the kidney, abdominal aorta, the inferior vena cava, the ureter. These are the primary retroperitoneal organ. And what are the secondary retroperitoneal organs. The secondary retroperitoneal organs were initially intraperitoneal during the embryologic life, but later become fixed to the posterior abdominal wall. For example, this is the descending colon. This is, for example, the pancreas, which is the secondary retroperitoneal organ, except the first part, as we have discussed earlier, it is the intraperitoneal. Okay, so the pancreas is secondary retroperitoneal, as well as the duodenum, except the small part, which is the first part, which is intraperitoneal. Just the second part, the third part, and the fourth part, these are just retroperitoneal, which are secondary retroperitoneal. So, to summarize, what are primary retroperitoneal and secondary retroperitoneal? Primary retroperitoneal organs are, they were developed in the as retroperitoneal structure embryologically, okay, from the beginning. So these are the kidney, the suprarenal gland, the ureter, the inferior vena cava, and the abdominal aorta, which has been just removed from here. These are the primary retroperitoneal structures, and the secondary retroperitoneal structures, they were developed as the intraperitoneal, but later development, they attached to the posterior abdominal wall, and they lose the mesentery, which is a double layer of the peritoneal fold. So these structures, including the descending colon, ascending colon, the pancreas, the head, and the body, and the duodenum, these are secondary retroperitoneal structures. Thank you for watching my video. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more anatomy videos. Feel free to comment below with topics you want to see in the future.